The Sony A7C Mark II has been out for just over a year now. And since its release, it has been one of the most popular cameras for content creators, casual photographers, casual filmmakers, and vloggers, and just anyone that wants a small and compact camera to put in their camera bag when they're traveling, when they're on the go, something that can do a little bit of everything. It's great for photography, great for video, and it's just an amazing all-round camera for taking great stills for social media as well as high quality video. And this is the little brother to my camera, the Sony A7 IV, which is coming up to being about 3 years old now. And I've been using the A7 IV as my daily driver for all of my YouTube videos, all of my client work, all of my photography, pretty much everything, and it has served me really, really well. But now that we're on the cusp of the A7 V being released, what can we expect from the A7C Mark III? And there's a few things that I think that we are missing at the moment. And with the A7C Mark II, it does everything pretty good, but it's missing out on a lot of features that you need for it to be an all-round perfect camera. So with Sony, it's quite well known that Sony are the sort of gold standard. There's a lot of Canon users moving over from Canon now to go with Sony. There's a lot of Fujifilm users that are going over to Sony just because Sony has just taken the lead in the camera space. It has arguably the best autofocus, the best color science. Its E-mount caters to a wide variety of lens choices, including their own G-Master lineup of lenses, which it has a wide variety of lenses for everyone that produce high quality results. But the issue is that they've got cameras that do either one thing perfectly or do a little bit of everything, but they don't have a camera that can do sort of exactly what we want. And I think there's a bit of a space that's missing at the moment, and it's a space that I hope the A7C Mark III fills. So let me talk about what I mean quickly. So if you want a dedicated photography camera that's just going to be used for taking high quality photos, then you're going to get something like the A7R5, the A9 III, or even the A7 IV, because all of these can take incredible photos. They have high megapixel counts and they have a lot of features geared towards photos. Then if you want a professional filmmaking camera, you're going to get something like the FX3 or the FX6, or even the ZVE1. All of these are kind of like the end game cameras for filmmakers. So you don't really need to bring out anything new in the filmmaking space because those sort of end game cameras already exist. There's a few little additional features people want included in future iterations of it, but ultimately they're pretty much there with their specs. Then you've got like the perfect vlogging camera for someone who's on a budget, who wants a nice little compact vlogging camera, which is something like the ZVE1 or ZVE10. And then you've got what I would say is like a good little hybrid camera in the A7CIII, which has a 33 megapixel full frame sensor. It can take incredible quality photos, but then you're going to compromise some of that quality when it comes to low light, when it comes to video. Because when it comes to video, it's not the megapixel count that matters, it's the quality of the image. So if it has a lower megapixel count, like the FX3 does, which is a 12.9 megapixel camera, that's going to do so much better in low light. So what you need is like a happy medium, because the A7C II can take amazing quality photos, but it's not going to be as good in low light. Additionally, it can only record up to 4K 60, and even at 4K 60, it has a 1.5 times crop. It can't do 4K 120. It can only do 1080p 120, but then you're losing out on some of that quality. Whereas if you get the ZVE1, you can take 4K up to 120, but you're compromising on the photo end because you can only take 12 megapixel photos. Plus, the build quality of the ZVE1 is not that great. It's a bit plasticky, feels a bit cheap and rubbish. And also there's potential overheating problems with that camera because of the build quality. So what you need is a perfect hybrid camera that sits there for content creators. So you've got the perfect camera for photographers, you've got the perfect camera for filmmakers, you've got a great little camera for vloggers. Now you just need the perfect camera for content creators. And this is what I want in the A7C Mark III. What I would like is a completely new 24 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor that's oversampled from 6K with open gate 6K. And this is something that a lot of people have wanted for a while, which people have been banging on the doors of Sony to make this sensor. Now, I think 24 megapixels sits perfectly in the middle because you're going to still get great quality in low light because it's a lower megapixel count than 33, but you're going to be able to take better quality photos than you would on the 12 megapixel ZVE1, for example. So it sits perfectly in the middle, where you might be compromising something on the low light side, but you're getting better quality photos for it to upload to social media, for your website, for client work, whatever you want to use it for. You've got that perfect all-rounder sensor. Then you still want to have the ability to do 10 frames per second continuous shooting, the mechanical shutter that the A7C II still has, and improved rolling shutter. One of the issues with the A7C Mark II was it had quite bad rolling shutter, where you'd get that sort of jellification of lines if you was moving it around trying to capture a subject. We want that to be improved on the A7C Mark III. Then we also want an improved AI chip, which can have all of the great features that the ZVE1 has, including things like cinematic vlog mode, the active stabilization for better stabilization when you're moving and moving around, and all of that kind of stuff that goes with it. Then the gold standard, what I really want, is 4K 30, 60 and up to 120 frames per second in video mode at 422 10-bit color with no crop. That would be phenomenal. Then the 1080p at 240 with no crop, like you can get on the ZVE1, 422 10-bit color across the board, the ability to add custom LUTs, an improved LCD screen, or even dare I say it, an OLED screen. The A7C II did have a good quality screen, but I would like to have an improved quality one, because that was one of the complaints about it, that the LCD could have had better quality, like the FX3. And then I would like the exact same body that the A7C Mark II currently has, the same high quality build and design, same mode dials and custom buttons, maybe slightly changed internals for the potential overheating, but the A7C Mark II didn't have any overheating issues anyway. I think if you had this set of specs on a camera, all of these things that I've mentioned, and if I've missed anything, let me know in the comments below, but I think this set of specs would be the perfect content creation camera. Now, it's not going to be the perfect filmmaking camera, and I know some of you in the comments are going to say that, well, 24 megapixels, you'd lose some low light performance, but you're not going to get the perfect filmmaking camera and the perfect photography camera in the same thing. You need something that's hybrid that can do both very, very well. And that's something I think the A7C Mark II is missing at the moment. So I think 24 megapixels strikes the middle ground perfectly to give you great quality photos and going to have improved low light performance because you've dropped the megapixel count slightly. Also, you're going to have slightly smaller file sizes because you're not having as many megapixels in there. So that 4K up to 120, 24 megapixel for photos, I think that is going to be the gold standard for content creation, because you're going to be able to use it for everything. And it's going to be small, compact, you can take it with you, you can put it in your bag, you can use it for photos, video, pretty much anything you need. This is going to be, for me, the gold standard camera. And like I said, if you want the perfect photography camera, you're going to get something like the A7R5 or the A Alpha 9 III. If you want the perfect filmmaking camera, you're going to get the FX3, which has all the built-in cine features and the built-in fans and the better low light performance. But if you want the perfect content creation camera, something that I think is missing right now in the Sony camera space, Sony, if you're watching this, please make the A7C Mark III with these specs, and I guarantee you it will fly off the shelves. Even if you increase the price by like $300 or $400, I would still buy that camera, and I would probably buy 2 of them so I can have a B-roll camera as well. So this is what I want. Let me know in the comments below if I've missed anything, or if you want something else in the A7C Mark III. But I'm hoping that within the next year or so, we're going to get the A7CIII coming out very, very soon. It's going to be on the horizon. I'm hoping that that has some of these specs so that the A7C Mark III can just copy it and just improve on it and make it a smaller, compact camera that people can have with them. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please do hit that subscribe button below so that you can be notified of all my latest camera videos and tech review videos and everything like that. But I am praying we get the A7C Mark III very soon, maybe within the next year or so, and then I can finally rest easy. Thanks for watching, people.